Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I want to share an amazing story about the power of networking and how it helped me to transform my motivation letter for the Erasmus Mundus scholarship. There is an amazing saying which says that your network is your net worth. You have to use it efficiently. If you are applying for any competitive programs like Erasmus Mundus, DAAD or Fulbright, stick around because this might be the key to taking your application to the next level. For example, in my case, I have reached out to so many of the Erasmus Mundus alumni, and they were really kind for me to review my application and highlight so many errors and so many fixes in my application so that I can be the better applicant in future. Networking is not just about making connection. It's about finding mentors and getting valuable feedback that can really make a difference. Let me tell you how networking played a crucial role in my application journey. When I first drafted my motivation letter, I thought it was pretty solid. I talked about my experiences, my goals, and my passions for the field, but I knew it could be better. So I reached out to a senior who had successfully gone through the Erasmus Mundus program and eventually won the scholarship. And this connection was literally a game changer. Because when you are working on your applications, it is crucial to reach out to someone who has already achieved your goals, and this is really amazing for you to reach out so that it can help you in many ways. The senior was kind enough to review my motivation letter and provide detailed feedback. So here is the introductory paragraph of my motivation letter, which was before the review of the alumna. It says that evening September 11, 2012, a 13-year-old teenager came back from school and was watching TV where some heartbreaking news of a private garment factory fire was being telecasted, showing mothers screaming and crying for their sons and daughters trapped in the flames to get burned and suffocated to death. The horrendous Baldia town factory caused 260 workers to burn alive. 17 of them were buried unidentified. Building structures non-compliant to building codes, non-functional emergency exits, substandard firefighting measures, no labor laws compliances. These all terms were really new things for a teenager from developing world, but the emotions he developed at the moment was something which built a foundation for a remarkable journey towards the goal of becoming a professional fire safety consultant. In second paragraph, I mentioned that's my teenage memory flashback. After 3 years in October 2015, when I was just relaxing after giving my entrance exam for the university, an incident happened in Pakistan's largest oil refinery with an explosion of their furnace. It caused no life loss, but a huge business interruption resulted into job loss of majority of employees, consequently creating financial sufferings to their families. These emotions were again so strong to work towards my goal more passionately. And at the moment, I am serving the same organization for last 2.5 years as a process safety engineer, practically working to make the place safer for the life of those employees and their families better by applying best of my knowledge. Paragraph number 3. It's been 3 years of serving as a process safety engineer in Pakistan's largest oil refinery, but it never disconnected from my heart that how a fire causes a lifetime trauma to the ones who lost their loved ones. I always had that question to myself that how can I play my part to protect my countrymen from fires. Now I believe that I have achieved a sufficient prerequisite experience and it's the right time to upgrade my skill set by pursuing a specially focused higher education targeting only on fire safety engineering. To achieve this goal, this program stands perfectly aligned with my career goals of becoming a professional fire safety consultant with all the tools necessary to come up with the possible solutions for the fire safety of my people working in any sector in Pakistan. I believed I summed up the motivation I have to pursue this program under the prestigious Erasmus Mundus Joint Master Degree program. In paragraph number 4, I mentioned my achievements as a process safety management engineer, where I won the award of process safety management level 1 personnel. In my first major project, I accomplished the provision of mandatory fire safety protection at the whole refinery site by conducting a complete refinery-wide analysis of already available passive fire protections. Further, I mentioned so many projects which really aligns with the program's goal and objectives in this paragraph and also in the 5th paragraph of my motivation letter. In the 6th paragraph, I mentioned my bachelor's studies and the courses which I studied there, including chemistry and reaction engineering, chemical process industries, and different programs which are really related to the course objectives and course goals. And then I also mentioned that I have the internship experience in one of Pakistan's textile industries, so it was a real added benefit for me. But let's see what responses I got from the Erasmus alumna related to my paragraphs. Is it good? Is it bad? So let's see. Here are the replies I received for my motivation letter from the Erasmus alumna. She said that avoid talking about yourself in the third person. Write in the first person in first and second paragraphs. Summarize the first two stories to save the space and keep your points concise and clear. Organize your paragraphs in chronological order for better readability. Further, she said that the story is really good, but avoid talking about yourself in the third person. Write in the first person to make it more personal. She also added that consider summarizing the stories in the first and second paragraphs, and it will save more space for your future points, future considerations in which you will mention your goals and aspirations and experiences. Further, she said that ensure consistency in your statements, because in the second paragraph I mentioned working as a process safety engineer for 2.5 years and said that 3 years in the later sentences. So it was a real blunder for me. More replies which I received from her was that mention your interest in learning more about the performance-based design. Either keep cities mentions more generic or include all the possible locations on which you are going to study. Avoid emphasizing plans to work in Pakistan due to the EU funding context. She added that it's good to have relevant experience, never overdo its or addition. Make it a bit more natural and personal. Also, she mentioned that Erasmus mobility is its most elegant feature and mentioned why it really matters in your life, but not in a way which makes it seems fake. Try to keep it generic to the countries but not to the cities, because you are not aware that in which city exactly you are going to study. In another message, she mentioned that you want to work back in Pakistan, but Pakistan's fire safety is not that developed, so it will be tricky for you. So she suggested me to rethink about it. First person narrative. One of the first pieces of advice was to write in the first person. Initially, I was writing about myself in the third person to make a good storytelling perspective, which eventually made the letter less personal, but changing to the first person made my story more engaging and more authentic. Consistency. She literally pointed out inconsistency in my work experience. I mentioned 2.5 years in one sentence and 3 years in another sentence, and this was literally a blunder for me. So this was a crucial fix to ensure my application is clear and professional without any errors. Summarizing stories. Another great tip was to summarize long stories in first 2 paragraphs. This helped me save some space and keep the letter concise, making sure my main points got enough space to write and main points are highlighted without overwhelming the reader. Future plans. She advised me to be careful with how I presented my future plans. I initially emphasized working in Pakistan, but she suggested framing my goals in a way that aligned more with the program's European context, because in Pakistan there is no such fire safety development in government level. So this was a subtle yet important change for me. Highlighting learning goals. Adding specific learning goals like my interest in performance-based design and fire safety showed that I had clear objectives for what I wanted to achieve during the program. This made my application stronger and more focused towards the goals and objectives of the program, because before this I was trying to connect through my experience and mentioning more things which relate to the objectives of program through my experience. But this thing was making my motivation letter a more fake and not so true representation of my work experience, because I was adding it too much. So she suggested me to not overdo anything and also try to add so many things which I want to learn through this program. Chronological order. Reorganizing my letter in chronological order made it easier to follow, starting with my teenage years, then my bachelor's degree, and finally my work experience created a logical flow that was more compelling to read and understand by the reader and the selection committee. So the power of networking. All these changes came from one powerful connection through networking. It's incredible how much a mentor's guidance can refine your application and ultimately help you achieve the goals which you want to pursue. Networking not only opens doors but also brings invaluable insights that you might not have considered on your own. So if you are working on your application, don't hesitate to reach out to alumni or professionals in your field, because this is the time for you to reach out. Their feedback can be the key to transforming your application from good to best and eventually lead you to the success. So in the last part of this video, I wanted to really give you the call to action, that what steps to follow. So first is ask for mentorship. Join your country's Erasmus social media groups. For example, in Pakistan, there is a Facebook group in which almost all of the alumni are present and who are ready to help you in so many ways. You have to be humble, respectful, and ready to learn, and reach out for feedback to those who you feel are inspiring and motivational for you.